All right, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Wednesday afternoon. Can we get a whoop from the Madfest crowd? Oh, we can do better than that. From the back, I want to hear a whoop. Okay. Well, guys, welcome to the Clarins Brand Challenge. You're very welcome into the House of Innovation. My name is Joel. I work for CoCubes, and we host the House of Innovation, where we bring some of the latest MarTech and AdTech solutions right to your front door. We're running speed dates here all afternoon, which you can go and check out. Just want to give a quick shout out to the Next Tech Now team from Publicis who have helped pull this together. Yeah, whoop for them. And we're going to get into this. But before we do, just a little bit about CoCubes. Alrighty, so if you're from a brand and want to connect with some of the latest startups and scale-ups, then please do head over to the House of Innovation after this, where you can meet your perfect match and sit down with a startup and do a speed date. Speak to anyone in a black t-shirt or white lab coat. You can also win a chance to win a trip to see your favorite band, in any location in Europe. If you do one speed date, you can enter this competition. It's all expenses paid, your travel, flights, accommodation, and tickets to the gig. So do make sure you go and do that. But we're all here for Clarins, and I wonder what comes to mind when you think of Clarins as a brand. For me, it's prestige, it's premium. It's really owning that space. And I wonder how much you would pay for one of these little lip glosses here. This is not mine, I must admit. This is my wife's. This thing cost me £250. Now, I promise you, I did not go into Boots to buy it for £250 or wherever you stock your products. But my wife and I, on a Sunday evening, we thought we'll go out, we'll enjoy the summer sun, we'll head out for some dinner. So we left our apartment in West London, and Annika said, I need to go back and get her lip gloss. So she runs back into the house. She grabs her lip gloss, which she feels like she cannot leave the house with. And as she comes down the steps, I'm waiting outside for her, the door closes, bang. She realizes she's left our house keys in the house. And we are completely locked out of our apartment on a Sunday night, which is not ideal. And so a couple of phone calls later, the locksmiths come out. And thanks to you guys, it cost me £250. So thank you very much. Alrighty, so I'm really excited to invite up to the stage Arazu from Clarins. Can we give a warm round of welcome for Arazu? Arazu, could you just introduce yourself, your role at Clarins, to just let everyone know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So lovely to be here. Thank you for having me here today. So I'm the head of marketing here at Clarins. Been with the brand for 3 months, fairly new, about 20 years in the beauty industry, so pretty familiar. And basically we're here today to present one of the biggest challenges, and I'm so excited to hear what you have to pitch for us.
Amazing. And could you just give us a bit of a context for the specific challenge that Clarins have set our startups for this afternoon to try and solve?
Of course. Well, I think after hearing your story, I think we found the solutions to get everyone locked out the door so they can spend more. But basically, the challenge is this. Everyone you speak to would have heard about Clarins. They know about it. But what's the first thing most people say? They say it's a brand for my mum. And we want to change this perception. We know that as a brand, we have a big market share. We're one of the prestigious brands out there. But what we struggle with is recruiting the younger audience. So when we talk about audiences at Clarins, we have 2 different demographics. We have at Heartland. The Heartland basically refers to our average age of our consumer, around 51 years old. But what we really want to go after are people between 35 to 45. We want to move away from the motion of people saying, it's for my mom, it's not for me. So the challenge is this. How do we go after this younger audience? How do we get them to consider it? Because what we do know, and as Joel's wife has demonstrated, is once people do buy into the brand, they do remain loyal. So we want to protect our biggest audiences, and we want to recruit the new ones, whilst also maintaining the prestige nature that we hold here as Clarins.
All right, there it is. Challenge is set. Now, how this is going to work, Arizu, if you take your seat back, we're going to get 5 startups. They will each get 5 minutes to pitch their solution, and we'll do Q&A with Arizu. And then they will deliberate on who they think is a winning solution and they would like to consider to move forwards with in terms of a partnership. So, hands at the ready. I'd love to give a really warm welcome to Rainer from Valix, who's going to kick us off.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Rainier. I'm the co-founder of Valix, and we are a market research agency from the Netherlands. And we got your pitch. How do we reach the younger audience that is 35 to 45 years old? And we were wondering, how come that's a pitch? Clarins has everything that this group is looking for. Efficacy, premiumness, as already said, sustainability, loyalty post-trial, which means the products must be good, and of course an iconic brand. So why are you not reaching them? Why are you not connecting with them? There is a disconnect because they perceive it as their mom's brand. Well, gets older and older. So yeah, you need to attract that younger audience in order to stay relevant. So how do we do that? Well, you can unlock the segment. You need to look at the positioning of your brand. What does the brand stand for? What does the brand mean? And how do we resonate with it? That translates into your messaging, and it even trickles down to your portfolio and SKU level. So it comes down to your communications, your packaging, and even your future innovation. So how do we know what they want? Can't we just ask them? Can't we just ask, what do you want? You can't. Just asking what your consumer wants does not work. There is a gap between what people say they are going to do and what they actually are doing, and it can be up to 600%. And it is particularly dominant in beauty, because beauty shoppers are not always rational. It is an emotional-driven category. So if you give them a survey with a 5-point Likert scale, which is very much the rational part of your brain, you're not going to get the desired output. That's where we come in. So we are Valix, and we overcome that say and do gap by running behavioral experiments. And what you can do with that is we can tell you, well, your current portfolio, where do you win? Where are you relevant? But also, where are the white spots, the white spaces where you might be able to grow or where you might be able to step in? We can help you optimize your messaging and your claims and your content. And what really is our specialty is understand, well, winning innovation. How do we put it in the market? What should be the right price point? What should be the right target audience? How should we talk about it? Really to make it relevant and valuable for your target audience. How do we do it, you might ask? We built a platform that essentially runs experiments in the sense of market research. So how we could do this in their different setups is that first we show them a shelf of a category. And this could look like a virtual shelf, it could look like a brick and mortar shelf, it could look more neutral. And we ask consumers, select the products that you will be interested in purchasing. There could be Clarins products on there could be competitive products on there, but really to build a category. Could be cleansers, could be skincare, whatever category you want to test. Consumers then select a number of products, and that tells us, well, what is in their consideration set? Are we even being considered? And who are we being considered with? What is the competitive field? And then in the next step, and this is where it gets super interesting, they are allowed to place a single bid on the products they selected with their own money. And we tell them 2 promises. If the product exists, they don't know that. Often we also test innovation that's not yet in the market, and ultimately we have to reveal it. But if the product exists, and if you're among the highest bidders, we sell it to you. So we charge your credit card, or we send you a payment link, and we ship the product to your home. Now that's fundamentally different, because now if someone says, I'm willing to pay £20 for this product, it's not just what they say, but it is an actual purchase commitment right here and there with their money. And we collect those bids. And what tells us that? Essentially, it is a KPI that expresses value. This is our proposition, and the consumer says, how valuable is this to me? And you are in the business of creating value to your consumer. So we can look at different claims, different packages to understand, well, which one is most valuable in the eyes of the consumer, or how should we talk about this? So on one hand, we get, well, are we being considered from the choice environment? are we valuable enough and how should we be most valuable? And then we can complement it with some survey questions to understand, well, why? Why are you resonating with it or why not? And that all together provides a real complete package. So with that, we can understand, well, what is valuable to the consumer and how do we become more valuable to the consumer? And ultimately, answering your question, how can we grow with this new audience without alienating our current loyal base? Because that is, of course, critical. And we haven't done this in the first time. So we are doing this for the world's largest brands all across the world. We have a team of about 30 people, and we particularly have experience within beauty care. So there are some logos on there that you might recognize, but we would love to work with you on that. Thank you so much.
All right, round of applause for Raina, please. Thank you. All right, Arazu, do you want to come back up? Raina, you hold on to your mic. We'll just do a quick Q&A. Arazu, how do you find that? And any particular questions coming up?
First of all, thank you so much. I love this idea. I have to say, I think it's something, and I think you touched on a very important point. Sometimes we get so carried away with thinking about how to market. We sometimes need to remember that at the heart of what we do are our consumers, what they think, how they feel, what are the purchase intents. I do have one question though. How would you deal with getting the data from doing this research and you find that there's quite a big disconnect between what they value and perceive and what we as a brand have to uphold in terms of our equity? Have you ever come across these challenges?
So let me get it straight. So you say, well, we have certain brand equity that we want to uphold, but
Correct.
what if it doesn't resonate with our new audience?
Exactly.
Well, that would not be a nice outcome, but if that is the reality, that is the reality. And then we need to start working, not only with us, but also with creative agencies, with your brand team. Well, what can we change? What can we update? What can we optimize to unlock this? So we are not a creating company. We are a validating company that on one end can validate, well, are we unlocking this? And we can provide you the insights, well, what are the cues where we need to work on to make it better? We can tell you, well, what is happening and why is that? What should we do to make it better? But then you also need to provide your input, well, these are our iterations, and with that, are we unlocking it? So that is our role in the total function.
Fabulous, thank you. And another question I have is, what is the size of the pool of audience you can go after?
So in our studies, typically, if we want to test, we would have around 400 consumers per concept we're testing if we want to get like in depth. If we want to get like a basic read, we do 200 consumers per product. So if you have like a choice environment, we could easily have 200 to 3,000 consumers entering that store to really have a robust base of data to work with.
Amazing, thank you. Thank you so much. A great idea, loved it. Thank you very much.
Awesome, round of applause to Raina, thank you so much. All right, are we ready for our next one? We've got big round of applause from Joe from Pogo.
Hello, nice to meet you all. I'm Joe from Pogo Donate, and we help premium and purpose-driven brands run charitable promotions designed specifically to connect with younger, values-driven audiences. These offers drive trade while protecting margin and enhancing brand equity, all whilst raising hundreds of thousands of pounds for charity at the same time. Probably should have pressed the green button already by now. Now, we've all seen stats like these about millennials. 81% expect the brands they buy to make charitable contributions. 71% will pay more for a brand or product associated with a charity. And 65% want to buy from brands they consider purpose-driven. But we also know this is a generation under pressure, often trying to afford their first home, paying childcare on a daily basis, and just generally, like all of us here, being squeezed by the cost of living crisis. So yes, while purpose definitely matters, let's face it, so too does price. Now the thing is, Clarins already does so much brilliant charitable impact work. In 1989, they founded an arthritis foundation and have since donated over 18 million euros to support arthritic research. They've pledged to donate 3 million meals annually and since given 41 million since 2011. And just this year, they achieved their B Corp status. But if you were to ask most of their customers, even their most loyal ones, there's a very good chance they have no idea about any of this. So why is this? Well, the reality is, when brands run charitable impact campaigns, it's usually brand-led, brand donations, customer volunteer days, and then sort of done in a vacuum and communicated back to customers on a page called Our Impact, Our Purpose, which the reality is customers aren't reading. So this is where we come in. Pogo provides brands with the tech that enables them to run charitable promotions. Instead of just another 20% off, because, let's face it, it's payday and we'd rather you bought from us than any of our competitors, the kind of offers that we get in our inboxes all the time, charitable offers stand out and cut through. You're able to reward your most generous customers at the moments that really matter to you as a brand and matter to them with offers like this. Donate £5 to Switchboard LGBT during this Pride weekend and unlock 25% off. Now, the results of these offers do all of the good things that sort of typical promotions do. They increase customer spend, they drive conversions, and when paired with paid media or influencer campaigns, can be hugely attractive ways to appeal to new customers and really appeal on a message that isn't just promotional, but it's emotional too. We provide the tech. It's a single line of code that embeds on your site, the charity partnership management, so you can support whichever causes you like, and the fundraising expertise so that you can run compliant and highly impactful campaigns basically with a click of a button. Now, we've got previous in the premium beauty space. Space NK customers have donated over £125,000 to their chosen charities over the last year due to offers like these. The icing on the cake with these offers, aside from obviously making the world a much better place, is that customers that donate to Unlock have a totally different psychology at play from a standard promotion. They've got skin in the game. They really incentivize to want to maximize their rewards. They go and they spend so much more. And it's something we've seen across all of our major campaigns. Space NK customers who have donated have gone on to spend double their average order value. So whether it's World Earth Day, Pride, International Women's Day, National Lipstick Day, we want to help Clarins run these hugely impactful, cut-through promotions appealing to a purpose-driven and price-sensitive demographic. Thank you.
Awesome. Round of applause to Joe. Thank you so much, Joe. What I love about these brand challenges, there's so many different ways to solve them, isn't it? Arazu, how do you find that? And any questions for Joe?
Love it. And the reason why I love it is because at the heart of what we do is a lot of emotional storytelling. And now, the question I have for you is this. We already partner with a lot of charities. We partner with Green Fingers. We do Merry Meals. Don't know if you know about it. So if you were to pick one charity that you think would work and you would push out, that would resonate with our core demographic of 35 to 45, given that we already have a range of charities, who would that be and why?
It's a fantastic question. I don't think there's a right answer, so I'm going to shoot from the hip. We do a lot of brilliant work with a charity called Look Good Feel Better, who naturally are very aligned in the makeup industry. I think you probably are aware of them. And we think for the demographic 35 to 45-year-old women, cut through. They've got a fantastic audience themselves. There's a bit of sort of synergy there. They could definitely be promoting Clarins at the same time. So fantastic charity that I'd always enjoy shouting out.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I love it. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, good shout out for Look Good, Feel Better. Great charity. Right, we're two down. If you're a tennis fan, we're going into the second set. And we've got Max from Azoma who's going to come and share a little bit about how they're helping with the future of search. Round of applause to Max.
Hi guys, hello. Hello, I am the founder of Azoma and we help brands to get recommended in AI search like ChatGPT and Amazon Rufus. We are today at a similar inflection point as the early 2000s when Google went from having 10% of Yahoo search volume to 10x it in a couple of years. Back then, there was a major innovation called the PageRank. This previous shift had some winners. We probably all know TripAdvisor got to 14 billion peak market cap. And the way they did this is by understanding how the PageRank algorithm worked. They gave out hundreds of thousands of backlinks to all the hotels and restaurants that link back to their page, therefore boosting their organic results. But it also had losers like Virtual Tourist. Anyone here heard of Virtual Tourist? No. Well, they were actually started the month before TripAdvisor in San Francisco and bankrupt in 2017. Many reasons, obviously, why some companies win and some companies don't. But if you listen to the CEO of TripAdvisor, he will talk about how important SEO was for his business. I had a look last night, and 40% of women aged 35 to 45 in the UK use ChatGPT regularly. This goes up to a whopping 93% if we're talking about Gen Z, who use 2 AI tools each week. And the average beauty shopper trusts AI as much as in-store staff to recommend products for them. So, at Azoma, we are experts at optimizing for LLM-based search. We've been doing this for 3 years now. And we're delighting customers. We know the beauty category, such as L'Occitane. How does it work? To give you a very quick overview, we will give you visibility on how you are performing across all the AI engines. You can set in your persona like a woman who is 35 to 45, so that we're understanding how those specific personas is talking to AI. We collect the data by integrating the models. We have a pattern that looks at how the web traffic of ChatGPT, etc., scrapes the internet, and the data we get back, and we have a predictive analysis to understand how people actually talk about these AI engines. We can then show you the key conversation topics that people are having with AI, so you know how to position yourself to this target demographic. We will show you what are the most frequently cited sources for the topics you care about, so you know where to go and target if you want to get mentioned in the right places. We will show you your brand sentiment and share of voice versus your competition. We'll show you how you're showing up in ChatGPT shopping and what is prompting ChatGPT shopping in your category. We'll help you fix the technical, the LLM.text and all the technical integrations on your website, give you the strategic recommendations, and generate content which is optimized for LLMs at scale, such as product listings and recipes and the rest of it, blogs and whatever we can, in order to help you to increase your share of mention in AI. So yeah, if you're interested, you can scan there, but happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Max. Round of applause for Max. Thank you. So we've gone from donation into LLMs. What stood out for you, Arzu, and any questions?
I think this is a really important topic you touched on. It's something we see happening every day, the increase in search, the increase in AI. And I think you hit exactly the right point. This is where our consumers are going. The question I have is, how do you, and it's more of a generic question, but also relates to us, where do you see AI going in terms of the beauty industry going forward? And how do you think that's going to impact all of our consumers, both our core and our new ones?
So I'm not an expert in beauty. Abba, somewhere who's our head of strategy, definitely knows more than me. But I saw an interesting stat, which is 58% of Google searches now don't result in any click. So I think AI is coming for everything. People trust these LLMs way more than they do traditional searches, and that's just the direction of travel everywhere, including, I think, beauty, as my stat showed.
Okay, perfect. No, I think you're absolutely on the right track. I love the idea. It's something that we are looking at continuously. So thank you so much for bringing that to life.
Azoma.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Round of applause, Max. Thank you so much. Right, we're heading into the final set now. We've got 2 more epic solutions for you. Max, if you could hand off the mic to Naomi. There you go. Brilliant. And I'd love to invite Naomi from Dotter to the stage. She's going to bring us into the final set. Round of applause for Naomi.
You'll notice over the next few minutes that I've taken something of a liberty, though hopefully a valuable one, and I've distilled your brief somewhat. From how do we make Clarins desirable to millennial women, to how will you know you've made Clarins desirable to millennial women? And the answer to that surely lies in the bottom line. So here's the kicker. The companies pitching you on stage today, quite possibly, all have great ideas. But unless you've got a tool like Dotter ready to integrate into each and every one of them, you're never going to be able to truly understand the shopper impact of each, and then in turn optimize them towards the things that are working for you. On the face of it, Dotter is a where-to-buy company. We instantly give you the ability to provide the transparency and shopper choice that millennial women demand in the places and moments that matter the most across all of your paid, owned, and earned media touchpoints. But we're also much more than that. At the highest level, Dotter's toolkit is going to do 3 things for Clarins. Number 1, it's going to make it easy for 35 to 45-year-old women to make and act on a purchase decision, wherever, however, and whenever they choose to engage with Clarins, and wherever, however, and whenever they choose to shop. Number 2, It's going to give you real-time insights that you and your partners can leverage on the spot to maximize the things that are working, increasing engagement and purchase rates, and massively optimizing your media spend. And number 3, it's going to arm your customer account teams with shopper behavior data that can transform your retailer relationships, positioning Clarins best both online and in store. The flexibility of our toolkit is going to enable you to create truly customized shopping experiences, rapidly, at scale, and incredibly cost efficiently. We're going to personalize every single interaction dynamically at the moment of engagement to provide the information, transparency, and simplicity that busy women are looking for. And besides having an incredibly powerful and flexible tech platform, it's actually our client services reputation that precedes us. We will be a true partner, listening and adapting alongside Clarins and every partner in the Clarins ecosystem to continuously improve how you engage and inspire your target audience to buy Clarins. I think Jack Daniels and the Brown Forman team said it pretty well when they said, Dotter's unique expertise in understanding how people shop online and their robust tech solutions gives our brands the muscle we need to win in the shoppable media space. And they are simply a wonderful team to work with. I'd love to start that journey with Clarins, and the great news is that winning this challenge would give us a whole 12 months runway, completely unlimited to do so. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Naomi. As you backstage, what stood out for you, and any questions for Naomi?
Thank you for wearing our Clarins red,
Yeah,
first of all. Love
I'd say
it,
that was
love
a
it.
mistake, but it was very planned.
So the question I have is, how could a brand like Clarins overlay what you're bringing in amongst the tools that we already have, researching into some of the consumer insights and some of the services you've offered? We have some similar tools that we have internally. How could we possibly work together to make this work?
So as an organisation, we are flexibility. I think if we had a middle name, flexibility would be our middle name. As well as building out shopping experience ourselves, we also partner with lots and lots of people who will take an API feed from us. So we have the best back-end tech, but we are happy to provide an API feed, whether it's like an Innovid for an interactive video ad, or a tagging partner, so that they can take advantage of the tech and build it into your experiences. So it could be augmented reality, it could be a recommendation tool that a consumer is using within Meta, and it will link and pull in the data that has that real-time shopping element, including, of course, your D2C, but not isolating D2C, providing all of the shopping options.
Amazing. Well, I love your forward thinking. I think it's a fabulous initiative. Thank you so much. Love it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Naomi. Right, guys, how are we feeling? Can we get a whoop at the back? Woo! Come on, get a whoop at the back. Yeah, all right, here we go. Right, we've got one more, and we've definitely not saved the worst for last. So, guys, what's going to happen is we've got one more startup who's going to pitch their solution to the Clarins team. The Clarins team, they're going to deliberate live and then pick and select one chosen startup to move forwards with. So I'd love you to give a big round of applause. It's the last time you're going to be doing it, but a big round of applause and a whoop from Ollie from Whisper.
Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Hey, Clarins. Nice to meet you. I'm Ollie, co-founder of Whisper, where we turn consumers into content creators for user-generated content at scale. Now, the problem you've come to us today is one that all legacy brands face eventually. Your customers are getting older. Younger customers know about your brand. They might even respect your brand, but they're not clicking buy. Luckily, that's not a marketing problem. It's a perception problem. And perception can be changed with not only the right content, but more importantly, the right content creator. So why is it a struggle nowadays? Well, look, traditional content channels are failing. Branded content is expensive to make, but it also looks and feels like an ad, so younger consumers are scrolling straight past. And influencers, they're not much better. 88% of young consumers now say they don't trust influencers at all. And loyalty platforms, brand ambassador platforms, they only reward loyalty, but not creativity and authentic storytelling. Good news is user-generated content is the answer. 84% of consumers trust a brand more when they leverage user-generated content behind organic and paid. But more importantly for you, 93% of young consumers use user-generated content to validate their final purchasing decision and click that buy button. That's why 86% of marketers see a positive return on investment when they use UGC behind organic and paid. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's really hard to scale, because instead of working with a handful of creators, you're now working with hundreds of consumer creators instead. That's where we come in at Whisper. We turn your brand community into a scalable content engine. Using our tech, we can invite your customers, as well as find existing consumers in our massive UGC creator database, to build you a scalable creator community around your brand and deliver authentic UGC at scale. Our management, with their creativity, delivers a consistent, authentic flow of content. And it's all fully licensed for you to use in global use, perpetuity. Use it behind paid, organic, out of home, retail, product pages everywhere. And this is exactly why Panasonic came to us with their beauty and personal care range as well. They needed voices of young consumers to actually articulate the proposition of their products to other consumers in their space. And in just a few months we've been working together, we've delivered over 190 short-form video pieces of UGC for Instagram and TikTok, which from the creator profiles itself has delivered over 200,000 organic views with a whopping 46% organic view rate. That's the authenticity coming back. But this is where it gets really good. The paid performance is astonishing. We dropped their cost per click in the young consumer groups down from £1 to just 8 pence. And the best ads are performing a 20x return on ad spend with over 3 million paid impressions. And I'm happy to say that's why this campaign has been shortlisted at the UK Social Media Awards for not only best use of UGC, but best use of paid social. So we're making younger consumers buy. Clarins, you have an army of authentic content creators waiting to share their story. You don't have to shout to unlock them, just whisper. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ollie. Love the energy. Come on, what a way. How have you got so much energy?
Drugs.
We do not condone drugs on stage. Right, Arazu, any questions for Ollie?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Totally agree. It is about authenticity, end of the day, right? People are moving away from brand adverts. They want real voices. The question I have is, how would you manage the challenges of using a lot of voices of consumers with the risk of them diluting, in essence, the core brand message that we uphold as Clarins? And how do you protect Clarins' image by using the voices of all the consumers out there?
That's a great question. It's one that we face all the time, because obviously you want to protect your brand, but you will have a lot of consumers that want to participate in creating content as well. That's why our technology and our expert management system find the most on-brand creators and consumer creators from both our database and your consumers, and only select them, the most appropriate people, to build into your content community. And once they're built in and we know them and we love them, they become your content engine and we use them again and again. So we only select the ones that we think are the best for you.
I love it. Thank you so much. Absolutely on the right track. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your passion. Great concept. Thank you.
Awesome. Round of applause for Ollie at Whisper. It's great. So now we're in the moment where the judge is going to deliberate a little bit. I have to fill some time. So I'm just going to warn you, I'm going to come out into the audience and ask you a couple of questions. But my question really is, what's the best thing that you've seen on TV recently? You guys can chat away, and I'm going to come hunting and just find someone. Yeah, you're nodding your head. Come on, you've got to answer. What's the best thing you've seen on TV recently?
I actually don't really watch much live.
You don't watch much live TV? You haven't got a TV. Wrong people to start with. All right. Here over here, you're laughing. Come on. Best thing you've watched on TV recently?
I don't watch it. Love Island.
Love Island. Any Love Island fans? No, just you. Oh, okay. All right. Yes. Volunteer. Excellent. What's your name?
Laura.
Laura, what's the best thing you've watched on TV recently?
Ginny and Georgia.
Ginny and Georgia. We've got a fan here. Any Ginny and Georgia fans? Yes, we've got some hands up. Bella, do you want to answer this question? Best thing you've watched on TV recently?
I would second the Love Island comment.
Oh, you're the Love Island fan. All right, nice. We've got another Love Island. Excellent. All right, just checking in. They're having a very heated debate. So I'm going to come over this side. What's the best? No, you're nodding your head. You really don't. China. What's the best thing you've watched on TV recently?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. Any Gilmore Girls fans? Yes, got a big nod of the head there. Yes. All right, got some fist pumps. Excellent. All right, guys, thanks for participating. I know it's hot. I know it's Wednesday afternoon. I know you all want a drink, but we're nearly heading there. So just a reminder, we've got speed dates running behind here. You can find your perfect match. You can actually win a chance to see your favorite band at a live gig anywhere in Europe. All expenses paid for. All you need to do is get a speed date and scan the QR code and enjoy that. We've got 24 AdTech and MarTech solutions. You've just seen 5 of them on stage this afternoon. There's a whole host of other great innovators and entrepreneurs that are willing and budding to meet with you. So we're getting some nods over here from the Clarins teams. I think that's, yeah, we've got a thumbs up. Right, Arazu, do you want to come back to the stage? And before you announce who you think is the right solution for you guys, just what was your general reflection on that whole experience? And were there any like kind of things that really surprised you in what came out?
I think, first of all, thank you to everyone here. I know a lot of work, a lot of thought has been put into it, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I think we have a big challenge, and it's a real challenge. It's a challenge we have to address. I think all of the points you mentioned were absolutely valid, from the AI tech that we need to leverage, to the charitable nature, to the voices of the brand. They all play a critical role in how we need to elevate the brand and really go after the younger consumers. So those are my overall thoughts. And you've given me a really tough job. I mean, I have to go back to my day-to-day job now, and I feel really bad now because of all the amazing ideas you brought to the table. So would you like me to?
Yes, without further ado, would you like to announce the winning solution?
So we've had a deliberation, and I think I'll tell you the reason why. We have decided that because we need to be more authentic and cut through with all the emergence of the indie brands, the drunk elephants of the world, everything that's happening in beauty, I think we need some real voices. We need to leverage that a little bit more. We need to be more authentic. We need to strike a balance between brand and real voices and consumers. So the winner is Whisper.
Awesome. Congratulations, Ollie from Whisper. Love it. All right, we're going to go photo opportunity. Arazu in the middle. And we'll just pose for the press. Awesome. Thank you once again. Thank you, everyone, for joining this afternoon. Big round of applause for Ollie. For Arazu, you've been an amazing host. Thank you so much. We loved having you, and all the best as you move forward with those guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Lovely to meet everyone. And thank you again for your ideas. Thank you.
All right, guys, that wraps us up for this afternoon. We do have the Lego Brand Challenge here in 23 minutes. So do stick around for that and hear what Lego's challenge is. Thank you so much.